Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1332. It is Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'm feeling a little refreshed. I took a pause, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Taking a pause. Why did I take a pause? And was it beneficial? I will let you know. I don't know if I want to talk about the Bears game yesterday, but we will. We'll talk about the Bears. I've got auctions running every single night. I almost said almost every night because that's typically what it has been, but not this week. Every single night, auctions are ending this week. We've got auctions ending tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll stream live here on YouTube. Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and new auctions went live last night over at 99centcards.com. Get your bids in now so you do not forget. 99centcards.com. What else do I want to talk about? So I want to talk about taking a break today, a little reset. Because I was in one of those phases yesterday where I was just nose to the ground. This whole weekend was just nose to the grindstone. Work. And sometimes that's great. And actually, it's always great. I think it's always great. But sometimes we need a little break. We need a little pause. And it finally hit me Sunday, late afternoon, early evening. Oh, shit. Time to take a pause. Now, I will tell you, I did take a pause, and I still worked. But it was just I put my phone down, and that's the root of the evil in my brain, the earworm. So we're going to talk about taking a break today. What else is going on? Not much. I mean, I didn't lounge around yesterday. I mean, I did. That's what's great about selling cards on eBay. You can lounge around and work at the same time. Sweatpants and a hoodie on the couch watching football, still working. Still listing. Fairly caught up on shipping. I'm up to 66 this morning, so a little more than what we woke up to yesterday, but we'll hammer that down. Ernie's going to go to doggy daycare, so that'll open me up. And that's why my day yesterday, and that's probably why I was in a funk by the afternoon, because I was with Ernie like all day upstairs, so I was out of sorts. And just kind of, and I could have came down and done some work, but I just, during the Bears game, I'm going to stay upstairs and watch the Bears, but that could have affected it. But so Ernie's been home 3 straight days. Because I kept him on Friday. I'm like, I can keep him on Friday. Now it's like, it's time for you. We both Ernie and I are ready for him to go back to doggy daycare today. So. But we did get to see some puppies on the walk yesterday. We took a walk after the game. And it seems like most people in my neighborhood have 2 dogs. Most of my neighbors have 2 dogs. And so we ran into a older couple that lives down the street. And they have 2, my wife knows what kind of dogs they are. They look like Cocker Spaniels, but they're not Cocker Spaniels. And they're nice. I don't like Cockers. I'm a dog. Like, I love all dogs except for Cocker Spaniels. I do not like Cocker Spaniels. I think I had, when I was a paper boy on my paper route, the only dogs that gave me crap were fucking Cocker Spaniels, little shits. And then when I was in college, I had a roommate who somebody blocked Max. When I was in college, I had a roommate. We had a no dog policy, and I was a rule follower. Not necessarily. It was a dog. It was not potty trained, and it was kind of a shit. Plus, I knew our landlord like in a professional setting. Like I was college age, but I was not in. I decided that I was going to chase the riches of radio. I soon realized there are no riches in radio. So while I was off chasing the riches, It's like looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's what you're doing working in radio. One of our clients at the radio station was my landlord. That's kind of how we got hooked up with the house. So we had it was a big house on MacArthur Street in Macomb. For those three people, Dave, Mark, maybe Donald Davis. One of my roommates got a Cocker Spaniel, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I know Jason was the name of our landlord. I'm like, I know Jason through work. Like, I'm not gonna lie for you. If he asks, like, I'm gonna say yes, there's a dog in the house. I'm not gonna go call him. I'm not gonna be Karen. I'm not gonna go call Jason. There's a dog in my house, but I'm not gonna lie. So we got away with it for a few months, and then our neighbors. So it was kind of MacArthur Street was like mixed because it was off campus neighborhood, but it was like close to where a lot of it were college rentals, basically. So our neighbors were, a family, and the guy, I can't remember his name, but he was just like random conversation, and told our landlord, like, oh yeah, the dog next door, really nice dog. So Jason comes over, knocks on the door. He's like, I answer. He's like, hey. I'm like, hey, how's it going? What's up? How's it going? He's like, hey, we've got a no dog policy. Is there a dog in the house? And I said, yep. Hey, landlord wants to talk to you. Have a seat. You want a beer? So that was the end of the dog in our house. But I was kind of done. Like, I almost pulled a Karen because I stepped in dog shit with my bare feet one day. That, like, that's like the worst. So yeah. So John says he has a Cocker Spaniel. Maybe I've just had poor luck with Cocker Spaniel. Like, I love every dog, and Cocker Spaniels are like, and I think by this point they know, like, they must have this like, oh no, he doesn't like us. We don't like him. So I don't know where that. The walk. So yeah, these dogs were nice. And then right as we got home, there was a lady walking she has two Bichons, and they were nice. And it's funny because Biscuit didn't really care for other dogs. Like, she did not associate with other, like, humans. Yes, Biscuit was a human dog. Like, she didn't care about the other dogs. She just wanted to go get pets from the humans and sniff and all that. Ernie is a dog person. Like, he doesn't give a shit about you, the human. He wants to sniff your dog's ass. So that's what he does. I don't know if that's the difference between a male dog and a female dog, or maybe just within these breeds, within the Havanese breed. I don't know. But Ernie is definitely a dog's dog. Like, he loves other dogs. So that was my day. Today is Monday. I'm glad it's Monday. I'm really looking forward, in this is like a smack in the face to those of you that have to go back to the office on Monday. But I love Mondays, especially coming off a weekend where I'm home, because I'm home all the time. And so when I'm home on weekends, it's just like this long blur of work. So I look forward to at least a routine. It's like weekends. Could I make a Saturday or a Sunday like a routine work day? Yes, but it's still not the same, because everybody, like, I'm in my own little bubble, which I guess I am anyway. But it's just not the same. I know that everybody else is suffering through Mondays. It's like, yes, it's Monday. Back to my routine. Here we go. So I'm glad. Now, next week, Monday, I'm probably going to be dreading it because I'll be gone most of the weekend. Next Saturday, Sunday, I'll be in Chicago at the Sports Spectacular. Come see me if you're there on Sunday. I'll be set up Sunday only, the Rosemont Donald Stevens Convention Center. So come see me next Sunday, and I'll be walking the floor on Saturday. So that's next weekend. So I will go live here on Hobby Evolution Saturday morning, but no show on Sunday morning. So looking forward to that. So next Monday, I'll, after a weekend of not shipping, I'll be loaded up. It's like, all they're gonna do is ship today. It's kind of weird over the last week getting caught up, because last week it was like I did nothing like all day for like Monday through Thursday with ship. And that's probably why we're going to go into the topic today. We're going to get into the chat first, but topic is reset. Take a pause. And the reason I took a pause was because I was obsessed with my phone all day, waiting for my eBay notifications to ring up, sale, and they just didn't. They just never came. Why? Why is that? And I've got some ideas. So we're going to talk about taking a pause today. Let's go to the chat and say hi to Todd. What's going on? Good morning. Turkey Cards in the house. Happy Monday to you and Dave Rigetti. Scott Hermanson is here. Good morning. Tiger727. Good morning. Alex in the house. I appreciate your CDP auctions video. Hey, you are welcome. By the way, yes, I don't think I mentioned that here on Hobby Evolution. I did put a new video up. That's something else that, getting caught up on shipping, I'm able to little multitask. Like, hey, I can list more. I can do a video. So it did open up a window of time to create a video, a step-by-step. You know what I did? I did something I don't think I've ever done before when creating the how to list auctions using Car Dealer Pro video, which you can find in my YouTube channel. The video you see is actually like the third take. Normally, I just say, fuck it, we'll leave it in. But I'm like, you know what? I want to do a thorough yet concise how-to video, because there's nothing worse when you're trying to watch a how-to video and they fuck up or it's long and drawn out. Like, I don't care about all your like Hobby Evolution is our water cooler. Like, we can do tutorials, but it's just going to be like, you're not going to want to watch because it's hidden somewhere in the time stamp it. So you're shit out of luck. So a tutorial, I just want to do, boom, here's how you do it. And the first time I start doing it, I set everything up, but I did not use the AI. So I'm doing the auctions. I'm trying to like show you how to do auctions videos. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this one's wrong. So there's like 10 minutes of me like doing the AI, like just the little, oh, this is over 80 characters. You got to delete some stuff. That's what, this one misidentified. So go to the database, which is quick, but still when and I think my batch was 50 or 75 cards, it takes a little bit of time. You don't want to sit through 5 minutes of that. So I'm like, fuck this, delete. I go a second time. And what was the second time? Maybe that was the second time. I can't remember. But I did. This was the one that went live was the third take. At some point, the AI stopped working. Like, it just stopped. Like, it didn't even, like, you go to database and click in like tops and nothing found. I'm like, okay, so CDP's down. So I went, got some shipping done or listed, or actually I wouldn't have listed, but probably got some shipping done. I don't know. Came back, finished the video. I'm like, you know what? We're just going to do all the AI. Boom, works. Okay, reset. Boom, there you go. So the video is up. It's, I don't know, how long is it? I think it's 10 minutes or less. But it shows you a step-by-step process of listing auctions, eBay auctions, using Car Dealer Pro. Which now many of my auctions I'm now utilizing Car Dealer Pro. It's awesome. I love it. So check that video out if you're so inclined. Christian, good morning. Happy Lions Victory Monday. The Lions scored like 50 points again. My goodness. I am not looking forward to Thursday. Next Thursday. Actually, I am. Even if the Bears get blown out by the Lions, it'll be fun because it's a Thanksgiving Day game. So I'm looking forward to that regardless of the result. We'll talk about the Bears. Zach's in the house. Good morning. Sugar Shane is here. What's up? Good morning. How about them dogs? Woof, woof. Good morning, Brian. Hot Frosty, not my cup of cocoa, but give it a watch. You might like it. So Brian and I were chatting about this, and so Hot Frosty, which is a Christmas movie on Netflix starring Mark and I's crush, Lacey Chabert. And I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. What is it? And by great, I mean a great Christmas movie. I should use that qualifier. Is it up? And I told Brian, I'm like, it's not, don't expect an Oscar nominee. It's a Christmas movie. And it has everything I look for in a Christmas movie. It's just something that's great background. I can be sorting cards or listing cards or just nonsense in the background, but it's fun. I enjoyed it. It's everything I'm looking for in a Christmas movie. Some people aren't. Some people just aren't into that, and that's okay. So check it out on Netflix, Hot Frosty. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. I'll probably watch it maybe again this year. Actually, I probably will because my wife wants to watch it. And I'll probably have it in the rotation. Like Office Christmas Party is now it is now cemented. Office Christmas Party is now cemented in my top 5 Christmas movies of all time. Now, my top 5, some people are going to be like, "Oh my God, those are awful." So, Office Christmas Party, Home Alone, Christmas Vacation number 1. And that's moved. It used to be like when I was younger, I still loved it, but it was Home Alone was number 1. And then as I got older, they kind of interchanged. But now, as I now reach 40 plus status, I think it's more Christmas Vacation is more relatable. When you're growing up, when you're a kid, Christmas Vacation is not as relatable because you're looking at it through kid glasses. And it's like, it's more of an adult movie. Like now as an adult, you realize, oh my God, you have a house full of, you can relate to having a house full of relatives for a holiday and how annoying that can be. And dealing with in-laws and dealing with Christmas lights and neighbors and all of that. And I think that's why Christmas Vacation has now cemented itself as my number 1 Christmas movie, well ahead of Home Alone. In fact, I usually like Christmas Vacation. I'll watch like 10 times during one Christmas season. Home Alone like once. And that's about it. So those 3, and I don't know, it's always tough. Those are like easy top 5. Elf is up there. Elf might be in my top 5. Christmas Story's not. I tend to watch it usually on like Christmas Day. Tend to watch it, but certainly not one of my favorites. The Night Before is a great one, but it's not in my top 5. It'd be in my top 10 probably. I really enjoyed it. It's funny. Saw that. My wife and I went to the movie theater to watch that and Office Christmas Party. And then like I don't want to like list Hallmark Christmas movies in my top list because they're like a different genre. Like they're Christmas movies, but it's almost like they need to be rated on their own. I feel like Christmas movies overall should be a ranking unto themselves. Hallmark Christmas movies should also be in their own category. So Hot Frosty, not going to be my top 10, but hey, maybe one day it will. Where are we at? David's in the house. Good morning. We've got Christian in here saying, who doesn't take a break? Lions offense. Man, they are killing it on offense. John wants to know, did you buy that shirt at Prince's estate sale? So this is actually a hand-me-down. Friends of ours, friends of my mother-in-law. He is like an older gentleman that buys nice clothes like Robert Graham, and he gained some weight, and this was like a few years ago, gained some weight, and gave me like all of his shirts. And I'm like, hey, this is cool. And then I did the same. I I gained a bunch of weight, couldn't fit into these shirts. And now it's like, hey, I've got a few sweaters. I've got Robert Graham shirts I can wear again. So I didn't get them from Prince, but I got them from Pat. Let's see. Max says, how about them Bears? Suck on that. See, Max is very modest. Somebody says that somebody on Twitter says that I lack modesty. It's like, no shit, I lack modesty. I don't want to be modest, because here's the thing. I'm giving Max a little shit right now, but if the Bears won, I would be putting the same damn thing. I would say, how about them Packers? Suck on that. Go Bears, go. So I can't blame Max for typing that out, because I would have done the same to him. Caleb actually does not blow, though. Like, Caleb is, I really like, in a Cubs chat, there's most of the participants in our Cubs chat are also Bears fans. There's a few that dread every Sunday when we all bitch and moan about the Bears. But there's a contingent of members that are Justin Fields guys. I was a Justin Fields guy until they traded him, and I'm like, okay, I can't control it now. I'm a Caleb Williams guy. And I was not looking forward to it. But I would take Caleb Williams right now over Justin Fields in his fourth year. Easy decision. Now, if you would have, before the season started or before, training camp and all that, I'd be like, nope, I still want Justin Fields. But now, after watching how many games, 10 games, how many games have been played? 10 games? 11? Yeah, 10 games, right? 10? Yeah, 10 games. I'm fully on board. I think Caleb Williams is going to be, like, I've said it before. Now, I've got a lot of my predictions wrong, especially when it comes to football, but I think Caleb Williams is going to be a top quarterback in the league. Steve Shear, what's going on? Good morning. John says, I have a cockapoo, part Cocker Spaniel. Incredible dogs. Orlando's in the house. Good morning. Only people making money in radio are wearing suits. That is the absolute, or if you're on ESPN or, Howard Stern, if your name is Howard Stern, you're doing okay. But in the grand scheme of things, that is absolutely, if you're toiling away in Macomb, Illinois, and you're not wearing a suit, even if you are wearing a suit in Macomb, Illinois, you're not making money in radio. But wearing a suit is where you're going to make your money in radio. Free pizza on Friday, a bonus in radio. That's true. Election night pizza. That was the only bright side of election night, and working till 1 a.m. and then waking up at 4 a.m. and going back to work, was that free pizza. Unfortunately, it was Domino's, but it was free. And that's all that matters. Dan's here. What's going on? Zach says, even the suits are struggling in radio. Yep. Even the suits are struggling. They did it to themselves, taking all the creativity out of it, coast to coast. Dickey brothers to blame. John says, no offense to my friends whose dreams of radio stardom, but they are the biggest suck-ups known to mankind. Is that true? I don't know. Zach, what do you think about this comment? I don't remember ever being I wonder, I need context. Like, suck-ups in what way? I don't remember. I was working in Macomb, Illinois. Maybe suck-ups in Philadelphia. I don't know. But I don't know in Macomb, or Zach was in were you in Green Bay, Zach? I can't remember where you were working. Mark says, good morning. When you thought the Jets hit rock bottom, they find the basement of rock bottom. Hey, did you watch the Bears game, Mark? Did you watch the Bears game? BPC in the house. What's going on? Aaron Rodgers win percentage as Jets starter lower than Darnold and Wilson. I saw that graphic come up. Wah, wah. 4-26 in the last 30 is tough. After hearing that number, I understand why you Bears fans hated Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers is just a hateable guy. it doesn't take being a Bears fan to hate Rodgers. Jets fans probably don't like him right now. Victor's here. Good morning. Mr. Archer's in the house. Good morning. Mikey is here. What's happening? As with the Bears, Jets have shitty ownership. It's not a coincidence they continue to flounder. John apologizes to Mark. John just think he wants to come back next season. If he gets cut, I think it's a $40 million hit against the cap. Florida baseball card dude, good morning. Mark is numb to it. When the owner sits in an offensive meetings, there is a problem. Yeah, when owners get involved, I mean, the Bears owner doesn't get involved, but they're just shitty in a different way. Maybe the Bears, Cowboys, and Jets can merge and make one big shitty team. John says, wait, you're posting tutorials now. Yes. Brian says they don't make bags for that much shit. John says Jerry World can hold a lot of shit. Bears are a downtrodden franchise. My hope is with a new coach, they can finally move out of their parents' basement. Doubtful. Yeah, I mean, Eberflus is good as gone. We had this conversation in my Cubs chat about, I want the Bears to win. Like, this is different. Like, this year is different than the past couple of years where I want the Bears to lose every game. But now, like, they have talent. It's similar to maybe 2 or 3 years ago where it's like, I really want like Justin Fields to perform, and the Bears offense is fun. They're losing high scoring games, and that's kind of, but still lose because they were, bad. Right now they're like in the middle. So it's like at least winning games like gives you, because there's a lot of young guys, like Caleb's a young quarterback. I want him to win games. It's not like we're trotting out a 11-year veteran at starting quarterback and we're getting ready to draft a new quarterback. We've got our guy. We've got a young wide receiver in Rome Odunze. We've got a stud wide receiver in DJ Moore. We've got one of the best tight ends in the NFL, Cole Kmet. So I want the Bears to win and get some, they're not going to go to the playoffs. They're not, on the other side, they're not going to get a top 5 pick. Even if they lose out, they're still, I guess if they lose out, win 4 games, that's probably in line for close to a top 5 pick. I think they're just good enough to win enough games to be outside the top 10 in draft picks. And there's not much difference when you get to the middle, when you get to like picks 10 to 20, if you move up 1 or 2 spots in the draft order, it really doesn't make a difference. But it makes a huge difference if you're in the top 10, especially in the top 5. So they're sitting, I think, right now at the 14th pick. I think they moved up like 3 spots with yesterday's loss, combined with a couple teams' wins that were, in the mix with the Bears. So I think right now they have the 14th pick. You would think they'd be battling for a top 5 pick the way they played the last 4 or 5 games, but no, they're still in the middle of the draft order. But they play. Who do they play this week? I don't know who they play this week, but I know the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, correct? Where are we at? Max says Carson Beck in Chicago next year. At this point, they should give you the first 2 picks. I'd take the first 2 picks. Bears don't need a quarterback. God, there are some right now. And so when you look at mock drafts, like so much is going to change. It's November. By the time the end of April comes around, it's going to be completely different. So it's hard. Like, you kind of know who, by this point, who the top 5 talents are. You just don't know which order, you don't know the draft order. A lot of things can happen still between now and the draft with the combine and, so all that stuff. So it still remains to be seen, but obviously the Bears need offensive linemen with like their first 2 picks. They get 2 second-round picks. So hopefully, if they move up a couple spots, they can get a better lineman. Hopefully they can identify talent and pick the right one or right 2. Apparently, Jera put curtains up for the Netflix fight. Brian says, that's fair. I did see that Netflix fight. Lots of shit. Mark says, meanwhile, Sam Darnold and Geno Smith are playing lights out with teams that have good coaching. The best fight of the night was the ladies, says Mark, on Friday night. Yeah, I didn't get to see that, all the buffering. I saw the fight before that fight, and that was a really good fight. Cooter, good morning. John says, why were the Lions playing golf when they were up by 4 touchdowns? Did you know the Packers won yesterday? John would give Lacey a hot Carl. Go Google that. Lions scored 104 points in the last 2 home games. Realized I am Lion obnoxious, but this is 40 plus years of pain for me. It is finally our time. Don't jinx it, man. There's still a lot of regular season, not a lot, but there's still 7 games of regular season. The playoffs. RELAX, says Max's boyfriend. Brian says, Carl with a K or Carl with a C? There you go. Die Hard. Any Secret Santa? Merry Christmas. The shitter was full. How could a Very Brady Christmas not be in your top 5? Hey, I enjoy a Very Brady Christmas. The 80s version. I enjoyed that one. It's not my top 5, but I do enjoy that movie. Mikey says the Colts actually won yesterday. Home Alone 2 was one of the best sequels that exist in the movie universe. Ooh, I don't agree with that. I am not a Home Alone 2 fan. When there's like a Home Alone marathon on, actually it's usually just a marathon of 2. Because once you get to like 3 and 4, those are like direct to video movies. I was not a Home Alone 2 fan. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because. So Home Alone, the original, it hits all that nostalgia for me. You know me well enough. I am big on nostalgia. And Home Alone hits me in the feels. I saw it in the theater. So that right as a kid, I was like 8 years old when it came out. At the theater, saw it in the movies. When it came out on video, it came out on VHS like right before Christmas that year, which I think was 91. Yeah, because it came out in 90. So it would have been on video in 1991. So it was in my stocking on Christmas morning, which is like going through Christmases of past, was like my favorite Christmas of all time. I got Home Alone on VHS. I got the Metallica Black Album on cassette tape as, yes, a 9-year-old. Tecmo Super Bowl for Nintendo was under the Christmas tree. I got my very first hobby box, 1991 Upper Deck football cards. Like Christmas 1991 was like a dream come true for me. Like it was the greatest Christmas. And so I think that's part of why Home Alone, the original, was just part of, and I wore that VHS tape. I wore that VHS tape out more than John wore out Debbie Does Dallas. I was watching that movie all the time. That's probably a poor comparison. Watching Home Alone, probably not a good comparison. But Home Alone 2 came along, and it's like, eh. I think by the time Home Alone 2 came out, but it probably only came out like 1 year later, 2 years later. When did Home Alone 2? Home Alone 2. I'm just thinking it came out like 1992, so I was still like 10, 11. I don't know why I didn't get into Home Alone 2. I don't know why. I'm intrigued by the amount of chest thumping in here about people's teams winning yesterday. I think there are more teams that were relieved they didn't lose. Lions won. They actually won. Go Pack, go. Tiger727 says, as a Packer fan, I won't gloat about yesterday's win. They got lucky, in my opinion. They got really lucky. Like, let's talk about, like, I would not be gloating if I was a Packers fan. And here's the thing. If I was a Bears fan, I would be gloating. Absolutely, because Max paints the picture. The Packers are 26-4 against the Bears in the last 30 games. They're 26-4. That's not even a rivalry. That's just a beatdown. That's like a number one team storming the court after knocking off a Division II team. You shouldn't gloat about that. You're 26-4, and you barely won against the Chicago Bears, who suck. It took a blocked field goal to win, barely by the skin of your teeth. I wouldn't be bragging about that win. I would just keep your mouth shut and be like, we got away with that one. Better luck next time. Hopefully we can thump them at Lambeau. Yeah, I would not be gloating about yesterday's win if I was a Packers fan. Now, as Bears fans, yeah, hell yeah, we're 4-26 against this team. We want it to be a rivalry, but it hasn't been in a long time. John says there was quite a bit of shitty football yesterday. Let's see. John says, is your mother-in-law's friends with Siegfried and Roy? Brian says, Hallmark is like the Broder cards of Christmas movies. They exist. They have a following. They're not premium. I think that's fair. I mean, it's not like we're not looking for Oscar-winning cinema here when we're watching Hallmark Christmas movies. We want cheesy entertainment with good-looking ladies like Lacey Chabert and Candace Cameron Bure. I'll take that. I love Broder cards. I think they're awesome. I love Bo Jackson and Michael Jordan Broder cards. So I'll take that. I'll take Hallmark Christmas movies as the Broder of Christmas movies. Mikey wants to know what John's football team is. Mark Marinello says we sell Robert Graham suits. I'm in the market for a new suit. I've got a big wedding coming up next May, not my own. My wife has two first cousins. One of them's getting hitched. I have like 47 first cousins. No, I actually have like 29, I think, first cousins. I think. I have so many, I don't know. So yeah, we have a wedding. I've got it's like a black tie wedding. So I've got no tie. I don't need a tux though. So I got to get a black suit. I think my suit now, I'm down to one suit. I think it's navy blue. So I need a black tux or a black suit. But I'm going to wait because my weight may fluctuate. I'm going to wait because my weight may fluctuate. Brian says, Chiefs lose to Buffalo. Playing chess, not checkers. They didn't even try to use Kelsey. I noticed that I had the game on briefly. And he had only like one touch in like the second quarter or third quarter. It's like, what? Max says, and that's the entire reason I'm being obnoxious. Fuck all you Bears fans. Well, fuck you too. Fuck you and your Pokemon. Snake oil salesmen are Lions and Bears fans. And Colts fans. If you chose to be a roadie, you'd have free pizza every night. And you get the joy of ridiculing the radio people. Brian's in the house. Good morning. His dad came home from the hospital yesterday and doing great. That is awesome to hear. I'm happy to hear that. Awesome. Tom says the Bengals have fallen into the sub-basement. Uh-oh. I think, do all of our teams suck in here? I mean, even the Packers suck. All of our teams suck. Mikey says morning radio people are so annoying. They try to be hip and cultured, but come off as fake. That's the shtick. That's the shtick. John has context for us. You need to pretend you like bands you're pumping and dumping for increased listenership and ticket sales. That's fair. That's fair. I once, and I learned that, and it's not the radio people. It's not the radio people's fault. Because if they said, oh, Nickelback's coming into town, Nickelback sucks, but hey, we've got free tickets coming up. You could say that, but you're going to get called to the office. I was called to the office multiple times, but one time in particular because I went off on a rant about Comcast cable because Comcast went out during like March Madness. And I just, oh man. And after I got off the air that morning, I got a call to the general manager's office. Woo, boy, did I get yelled at. Did I get yelled at? Because they're a sponsor. Comcast is a sponsor. How dare you talk ill of our sponsors? Well, their fucking product sucks. So I just took it. I took the beat down. But yeah, I mean, that's radio. That's just what it is. What it is. Royals 417 here. Good morning. I'm just thankful I don't have to hear about the undefeated season. If I really cared about football, I'd find another team to watch. There you go. I didn't even realize the Chiefs were still undefeated before yesterday's game. I saw all the Dolphins comments. Oh, the six, because I think there's only six. Is there six remaining members of the Dolphins? I know we lost. Mercury Morris was kind of the biggest a-hole when it came to popping the champagne and being a dick about it. He passed away. I'm sure he might have been a nice guy. I don't know, but he was obnoxious. He was like a Packers fan after beating the Bears when the last undefeated team lost. My context is playing in every radio market known to mankind during the heyday of radio. Mikey says the Bears haven't been good since 2006. That is accurate. The Bears will win 2 late season matches, giving the fan base false hope at a middling pick. Yeah, I think they probably will win a couple late season games. I mean, any win. This is Chicago. Any win, and Chicago fans, and this goes for the Cubs too. I don't follow the Bulls and Blackhawks, but Cubs and Bears, when they win, it's Super Bowl World Series bound. When they lose, the world is going to end, and our team is not going to win another game. That's how it is with Chicago fans. Mikey wants to know, how did Caleb do at USC? Didn't win it. He was really good. I mean, he was the consensus number. I am sure. No, I'm not sure, but I would say 95% of the teams, had they had the number 1 overall pick and needed a quarterback, they would have drafted Caleb Williams. I'm sure there was 1, maybe 2 outlier teams that would say, oh, I want Jaden Daniels or this guy. But 95% of the teams would have drafted Caleb Williams. And he's a far better prospect than what this year. Now, that could change. Caleb might suck in the NFL. He might be a Hall of Famer. The number 1 overall pick this year, if it's a quarterback, could suck. Could be a Hall of Famer. We don't know. But right going into this draft, there's no Caleb Williams at quarterback. Radio people are suck-ups for the most part. Mikey, he won Bo's heart. That's all that matters. That's what you Bears fans say every year. It's different. It's not. Got provided a false sense of hope because you beat a couple shitty teams to start the year. Yeah. Well, hey, before the year, I thought they were going to win 10 games. I had false hope. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they get some linemen and new coaching staff. I really do like the offensive coordinator. It's 1 game though. Hopefully that trend continues. Caleb looked a lot better yesterday than what he looked like against the last couple of games. But Caleb does play well against really shitty teams. So I guess that's why he looked good yesterday. Lack of any job security will create that. That's a good point. That's a good point. When you're struggling to make $20,000 a year and 9 out of 10 people can do your job, you got to suck up. You got to learn how to kiss ass and keep your job to keep that ramen on the table. Dan says, pretty sure USC defense was terrible. Yeah, I think there was a lot of 50 to 40 games, and there was a lot of, 2023 USC football. They beat Louisville 42-28 in the Holiday Bowl. They lost 38-20, 36-27 to Oregon. They put up a fight against Washington, who was number 2 in the country, 52-42. They beat Utah State 48-zip. They beat Wisconsin, who was not a good team last year, 38-21. They beat Rutgers 42-20. So I guess I was just thinking of that Washington game where it was 52-42. They put up a lot of points. And then I guess it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they were putting up the big numbers. They lost 46-45 in the Cotton Bowl to Tulane. They scored 56, 66, 56, 42, 48, 43, 48, 32, 50 in 2020. Oh, that was 2023. What in the fuck am I looking at? Was that? Oh, I think I was looking at this year's stats. We want to look at 2023. Okay, 2023. Okay, yeah, there's 2023. Arizona, 43-41. 2023. Oh, here it is. Okay, so the 50. So last year, 56 points, 66 points, 56 points, 42, 48, 43, 40, 20, 32, 50, 42, 27. So yeah, they put up a lot of points. Old Caleb. Bo has already made his reservation at the Canton Hampton Inn in 2048. Oh, the Hall of Fame ceremony. You betcha. Caleb was a consensus number 1. He did plenty. Playing the Vikings. Oh, it's the Vikings week. Skull Vikings. So here for the first time this morning, I agree with Max. We should have used the second first round pick on Joe Alt instead of Rome Odunze. Although I think we would have had to trade up for Joe Alt. I think Alt went 5 overall, didn't he? We took Odunze at like number 9. How did the draft shake out last year? There was Alt and who was the other? Who was the there were 2 tackles that were like top 10 in mock drafts, at least. I think the other tackle did not go in the top 10. Yeah, Joe Alt went 5 to the Chargers. We took Rome Odunze at 9. Olu Fashanu, who's with the Jets. How is he doing this year? Is he? So that would have been the tackle unless we would have traded up to like 5, which would have cost a lot. So Fashanu hasn't even been a starter. Is that correct? Yeah, he just got his first start yesterday. So, I mean, would it have been an improvement over whoever the Bears or whatever ragtag tackle they're putting out there? Probably. Bears hug boxing continues. Max says, makes me sad people actually watch that Tyson Paul fight. So no different than the Bears. You can't hide your lion eyes. The Bears and Lions just switched spots in the North for a few years. Wow, Sugar Shane. Sugar Shane and Steve are on Home Alone 2. Shane, how old are you? I'm wondering if this is like an age thing. Like if you're a couple years younger, you'd be Home Alone 2. But I think Steve's older than me. Although Steve said it's a great second movie. Unicorn Cupcake says, holy shit, you scored big in 91. 91 was a great Christmas, man. Christmas of 91 was the shit. Like today, if I had all of that stuff under my Christmas tree this year, I'd be like, this is the second greatest Christmas of the year. Like, that's a hell of a good Christmas. I'd have to go find a VCR, though, and a cassette deck to play my Metallica and Home Alone. But shit, in 2024, that's a great Christmas. Yeah, isn't 2 widely regarded as better than 1? I don't think so. Who thinks Home Alone 2 is better than 1? I don't think I've ever heard that. No. I'm surprised Steve said it was a great sequel. I thought it was a shitty sequel. Nah, I wouldn't say shitty. I'm not into it. I don't like it. Dan says, no, you're thinking of The Godfather. Stuke says, good morning. I was prepared to say congrats on the win, but I will say congrats on a great game by the Bears. Yeah, they played a game. They played a game and almost won. Wanda whips Wall Street better than Debbie does Dallas. Wanda whips Wall Street. Never seen that one. I guarantee Bears. I don't think I've seen Debbie does Dallas, though, either. I guarantee Bears won't make the playoffs in the next 5 years, says Mikey. I would take that bet. I don't even bet, but I would take that bet. The cope is strong. Max says, nothing to do with the teams, dumbass. It's about the shit-ass fans. I'll gloat all day long. STFU. You barely won. Act like you've been there before. Act like you've been there before. The fucking Packers barely beat the shitty Chicago Bears. They're so shitty, and you couldn't even you needed a blocked field goal to win against the shitty Bears. You've won 26 out of the last 30, and you can barely win? Jesus Christ. Packers suck. Are the Packers going to win another game this year? I don't think they will. After the way they played yesterday against the shitty Chicago Bears, I don't think the Packers win another game this year. Because the Bears are going to come into Lambeau and beat them. Not going to wear the blue jeans and blazer and white socks to the wedding. No. No. I wouldn't even do that on my own. I wouldn't even make that decision on my own. Now, blue jeans and a blazer, yes. White socks, no. Let's see. Brian gets it now. Had to put it into card terms. See? Now I get it. Max says, at what age does it become acceptable to hit on women 20 years younger than you? 40? I don't know. I don't hit on women. I'm a married man now. Mikey says, can we have a wife reveal on the show? Why you asking MD? Mikey says, my girlfriend is a year older than me. My wife is not quite a year older than me. She is right now until June. Max says, why the Pokemon? Has nothing to do with it. Entire reason right there. People don't like fucks from Illinois. Keep it on the road. All right, Pokemon boy. My team doesn't suck, says John. They beat a 7-win season to maintain first place in their division. Max says, so Ken Golden would be a good radio guy. Yeah, he would be a good radio guy. He's got charisma. Raise your hand if you outkicked your coverage with your wife. Oh, God, yeah. My main radio station was from Winnipeg with promotions like Ty Domi, the Sky Domi, and Live. Sports card ripping teacher says, go Pack, go. What's the win total this morning? Go back and watch Williams versus Notre Dame. The Irish made him look silly. I will say Williams played much better yesterday. He did. He's had ups and downs this year. He's looked really good against shitty teams, and he did again yesterday. He looked really good against a shitty Packers team. I mean, did you watch the game? The Packers are not a good team. I would take Bo Nix over Caleb Williams. I would. Sports card ripping teacher says the Packers need to spy Caleb Williams in the rematch. He got way too many yards on the wheels. He did. He looked good on the ground as well. Don't know if it helped, but USC hire the NDSU coach, former head coach, former DC this year to the defensive staff. Joe Alt, Notre Dame. Uncle Rich in the house. Good morning. Max says, you traded down once, didn't you? In the draft? Yeah, but that was early on. And you wouldn't take Joe Alt number 2 overall. Yeah, we had 1 and 2. And who did we trade with? Who did we trade to get the 9th pick? I can't even remember. Do I have it on here? I do have it on here. Number 9. I can't remember. It's not showing on the NFL page. We had picks in 1 and 9, but number 2 was traded. Like before the draft, number 2 was traded. Or wait, no, not last year. We didn't have pick number 2 last year. 2024. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago we had the first 2 picks and traded. Was that right? Now I can't remember. Shane is oh, you're young. 34. So maybe that's why. Because again, for me, it's all nostalgia. Brian says Home Alone 1 is better in my humble opinion. Orlando says big numbers. Cam Ward, Miami, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, almost 3,500 passing yards, and he can run. I think he's kind of at the front of the race for overall top quarterback. Most mock drafts don't have a quarterback going number 1. That'll change. It almost always does. But I think Cam Ward is kind of separate at this time. Has kind of separated himself as being the number 1 pick or number 1 quarterback in the upcoming draft. Stuke says had Cam Ward in my fantasy football league, NCAA. Rich says, as a Giants fan, I'd be thrilled if they lose by 1 point to the Cowgirls on Thanksgiving Day. Cope some more. Put more in the mushroom coffee. What column does hardly winning go into? Goes into the shitty team category. You better watch out. You won't win another game. Sports card ripping teacher says, I'll bet you an autographed Bo Thompson card that the Packers do win another game. I don't bet. I don't want to take that bet. I'd take the other bet. The Bears will make the playoffs in the next 5 years. That's a bet I'll take. But I don't want to put bets on wins. Max says Redskins, no. Redskins had the number 2 overall pick, but I don't think. What was 2024 NFL standings? This will get us right to it because the number 1 pick was the Panthers pick. So what did the Bears do last year? Bears were 4-6. So no, they would not have had the number 2 overall pick. Bears were 4-6. So yeah, they earned that number 9 overall pick. Colts beat the Bears. I will give you that the Bears are better than the Browns. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. So that's what I had for today. I took a pause yesterday after the Bears game against that shitty Packers team. Took a little pause, and I was on my phone like all day, and a lot of it was listing. Like I was listing some stuff. I was listing auctions, during the game, and then I'm like noticing I have like no sales coming in, and like I just keep waiting and waiting, and it's like here's a $1.50 sale, here's 99 cents. It's like Jesus Christ, where's all my sales? I became obsessed with looking at the phone, waiting for the next sale. And it was like on pace to be like my worst sales day of going full time in like 3 years. It's like, this is not good. Auction saved me. And I did make some more sales, but it's like, I just need to set the phone down because what do I always say? There's ebbs and flows. Yeah, there are some outliers. Now, I looked at my numbers today. They were a little lower than I would have liked, but it still was close to where I want to be on a daily basis. And I just want to hit those numbers. But I do understand that there's going to be shitty days. There's going to be awesome days. That's just how sales works. And, but I tried to just separate myself from like it, because then you get obsessed. Like, well, I need to list more. And sometimes you get in a trap when you're focused on I'm not making sales, I need to list more. And that tends to lead to poor listings. Like we're just listing to list. And that's why we don't sell sometimes because we're just listing shitty stuff. I listed 75 Marvin Harrison cards. Nobody wants Marvin Harrison cards. I'm like, well, it's Marvin Harrison, great wide receiver, sons in the NFL. Nobody wants Marvin Harrison cards. Now, eventually, I'll move some Marvin Harrison cards, but that's kind of what we just fall like. Oh, I'm just going to list everything, and then rarely anything sells. So I just took a break from eBay altogether. I don't know what time it was, 4 or 5 o'clock yesterday. Came downstairs and did some sorting. I'm working on multiple things at the same time with what I'm sorting. So I've got a shelf in my card room that's hasn't been touched in like at least 2 years. Now it's pretty much cherry picked. But you never know. There might be some. I found a couple cards that it's like, oh, I'll put these on eBay. But again, they're like $5 and under cards, not anything great. And I don't expect to find any great cards in there. So basically what I'm pulling these out is just to make sure, and pulling out, I'm finding a lot of quarter cards, for upcoming shows, for my quarter boxes, stuff that you don't see, like older Topps Heritage cards. There's some Topps Heritage football cards, and I think those, mixed in with modern stuff. Like I'm so tired. And if I'm tired of seeing modern stuff, I'm sure other people are too, in bargain boxes. So just trying to get a better variety and not just all like 2022, 2023, 2024 Bowman. Like I'm just sick and tired of seeing that. So doing that, and then taking out cards for player lots, not necessarily for me, but for a buyer, in finding some of that stuff as well, and actually have found a ton. So and the main reason is to get the stuff out, move it out. Okay, this, here's my bulk. Okay, this stuff's going into a quarter box. These few cards are going to eBay. These are going to my buyer. And then the rest is bulk, and it's going to the storage unit. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And it's actually it's relaxing. It did put me at ease, and so I kept my phone. I just left my phone on the counter upstairs, so I didn't have the urge to like pull it out, because then when you pull it out, it's like, oh. So that's kind of where I was at yesterday. And I think taking a break, helps. And then you pull out your phone, a few hours later, whenever it is, and it's like, oh, hey, it seems like, oh, it worked. Just not looking at it. It's almost like boiling water. If you stare at the water, does it ever boil? It does. But it's like, it feels like it's never going to boil. You're just staring at it. But you walk away and you do something else, and all of a sudden it's boiling over the damn pot. It's like, well, all it took was me walking away, and that water started boiling. So I just had to walk away from the phone and just do something different. Even if it was work related, card related, just do something different. Take a pause, take a break. Because what do I say all the time? Why are my sales down? Look in the mirror. It's always our own fault. Almost, not always. Because there's some outliers where eBay's working on the back end and there's some glitches, and it creates, slower sales, usually for the majority. But in like 99% of the cases, it's what we are doing or not doing. And so I have to take a step back, take a pause, take a breath, and be like, okay, why are my sales down? Comparatively speaking. My sales in November way down. Why is that? And I know exactly why, because what I am listing, I'm really focusing on auctions, but I'm not focusing on a lot of my auctions are going for 99 cents, going for $2, $3. So even if I do run 100 auctions, like that's not much. So it's what I am listing. I'm not listing, oh, here's a Derek Jeter rookie card I found in a Goodwill pallet. I've gone through a lot of that. So the focus just turns to, okay, maybe I need to cherry pick the $5 and $10 boxes, not necessarily for auctions, but okay, I know I can sell this for $20. If I can get it for 10, I got a little bit more margin in there. So maybe do some of that. Also, more buy it now listings, smart buy it now listings. Instead of just, I've been really focused on auctions and getting auctions going every day, because that, I want auctions running every day, because that's like guaranteed money every single day, guaranteed money from auctions. But you got to be careful, because you don't want to undersell, like, oh, I could sell this as a buy it now for $10. It sold for 99 cents as an auction. So I've got to be careful with what I am listing as an auction. So those are some of the things that I know, but we kind of lose track of that knowledge when we get focused on, oh, my sales are down, and we kind of get off the rails and do other things that aren't as efficient in our workflow. And so that break enabled me to get back on the rails and be like, okay, this is where I need to focus. Like, yes, I do need to focus on getting auctions up every night, but at the same time, I need to put some time into buy it now listings, liquid buy it now listings. And I think from there, I'll see my sales rebound. But at the same time, I'm looking at my numbers, and my November is down, which I had a feeling, and I thought my October would be down over September, but it wasn't. This month, same period over the first 17, 18 days of October. So my sales are down 33. My net sales are down 32%, 32.6%. But my quantity sold is up 2%. So I'm still making sales. In fact, I'm making more sales, but those sales are lesser, 99 cents, $1.50, $2. So, I know people are buying. The volume is there. Now I've just got to get that number, that total value up. So where are we at? We'll wrap things up so I can go have my mushroom coffee. Let's see. Sports card ripping teacher says, MD 100, so grateful. Love, got to sit for a couple of years and learn. CA's in the house. He says, Detroit Lions don't goof around. They don't golf around either. I'm new to the Packers fan base, so who knows? Victor says, me too, Bo. My sales have been horrible the last couple of weeks. And maybe, I've heard this, and maybe it's hitting us a little later than all the resellers. Oh, my sales are down. My sales are down. I know why my sales are down. Now, yesterday was one of those outliers. Was it last Saturday? Was an outlier, like way below my normal. And why is that? eBay's super slow, but it's I'm having days where my graphs are like, starting on Tuesday, my graphs are like flat. There's no ebbs and flows. It's just like straight flat. And then actually Saturday was a higher than normal day. And then yesterday was lower than normal, a little bit lower. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were all like the exact same, which is kind of crazy. Because my graphs are always super up and down. Reviewing sales on a daily basis could result in unhealthy behavior. I agree, 100%. 100%. And I do. I not only do I do it every day, I do it like every hour. Like it's become an obsession. Actually, it hasn't become. It's always been that way. And I need to buck that trend. But it's also important at the same time. It's important to know where you're tracking, what's selling, what's not selling. But it can lead to unhealthy behavior. Absolutely. Are you comping your sales year over year or just from the previous day? For sanity's sake, you probably need to get more macro. I do all of the above. So day to day is the easiest because it's right there on your homepage. I do want to know because I've got, I want to hit a certain number every day. So that's why I'm looking at it day to day. I look at it from a monthly basis as well, and then I look at it from a yearly basis. So my annual basis is way up. So we just talked about my month to date, my year to date over the same period in 2023. My net sales are up 45%, sales dollars, and my quantity sold is up 7%. So not only did my volume go up, but the price per item went up as well, leading to higher net sales. So that's year to date. I'm curious. Oh, we can do to 2023. Let's see what year to date is compared to 2023. These look like the exact same numbers. Those are the exact same numbers. Custom. Oh, duh, because 2023 was last year. Okay, 2022. Up. Oh, so 2023 was actually down compared to 2022. So my net sales compared to 2022 up 38%. Quantity sold up 31% over 2022. And then can we do 2021? Let's see if we can do 2021. 2021, way over 2021. Because I was only actually, you know what? I don't think this is the whole year for 2021. No, it's not the whole year. It's it only goes, it's like one day. So all right. So we can't compare it to 2021. I'm like, whoa, that's like, I'm like that. No, that doesn't seem right because I was full time for 3 months of that. Boston Smoke says, do your eBay impressions fall also in relation to your sales? My impressions and sales have dropped as well. That's a great question because that's typically the first thing I look at. Okay, my sales are way down. Where are my impressions? And my impressions are not dropping, but I haven't looked recently. Let's take a look at where we're at. Let's see, custom. So let's see where, so yesterday was a crazy slow day. So we're going to look at yesterday, 11/17, isolate it to one day. So my impressions, so yesterday So yesterday, my impressions were actually up almost 3% over Saturday, and my views were up 16%, but my quantity sold was down 30% over Saturday. And there was a huge difference in, actually it ended up not being a huge difference in total sales because the auction saved me at the end of the day. So my impressions were actually up. So what does that tell me? It's not an eBay problem. So if your sales are down, look at your impressions, because I could say, well, my sales were way down, like outlier down. It's got to be eBay. eBay is suppressing my listings, and people are not seeing it. Go to your impressions, because if your impressions don't match your sales being down, it's on you. And so yesterday, it was on me. My impressions were higher on Sunday than they were on Saturday, and I did significantly more sales on Saturday. So we can't blame eBay. So, that's typically when I have a super down sales day, where it's like, man, this is an outlier. I go to my impressions. I look at the impressions. Okay, were people at least able to see my listings? Because people think eBay's hiding it. Well, you look at your impressions. It shows you, well, the eyeballs were there. The sales were not. So that tells me I need to get better shit listed. Either better shit or better prices. It's one of those two. But again, you're not going to have your best sales day every single day. Fortunately, you're not going to have your worst sales day every year either. You just want to you want to toe that line. You want to kind of be average to above average and just build every day. So that's what I had. Alrighty then. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy it now section, buy 7 or more at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. 99centcards.com. I've got eBay auctions ending tonight and every night this week. And of course, we go live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central, and we count down those auctions. So check it all out, 99centcards.com. Have a wonderful Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow.